How can we define emotional health differently from the usual resilience and coping kind of advice that we hear?
So I think understanding that our brains will pay attention to what we want them to pay attention to. And the very first part of emotional health is self-compassion. Without compassion and self-compassion, any healing that happens from any situation or from burnout or what have you will not be permanent, and it won't be sustainable. And it's putting yourself first and centre always, and developing a practice of self-compassion, which starts to build up a resilience within your brain to difficult situations, so that with that self-compassion, you will, of course, be putting in neural pathways that are activated when you're in your parasympathetic nervous system. So when you're in the relaxed and safe place in your nervous system, and you will be able to, it's not that you're never going to be stressed and it's never going to be difficult
that would
again.
be crazy to think that.
Yeah.
But there's management.
But putting the self-compassion in place and putting those practices in place allows you to get from that flight or fright, stressed or freeze mode back into a place of safety, psychological safety and rest and relaxation quicker. And basically gives you a toolkit of ways to calm yourself down rather than being in flight or fight all the time, which is how people end up in burnout.
Absolutely. In episode 48, we discussed with my guest called Callan the importance of self-compassion and self-love, and more importantly, how incredibly difficult people find to practice that. And yeah, that is just, very sad in one way. And it would be so good if a lot more people, if not all people, could find that in themselves, that instead of just giving all the time, because a lot of people kind of class themselves as, I'm a giver.
Yeah.
And especially, obviously, mothers, that's kind of almost comes with the label.
Yeah.
But does it have to?
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
And it's the same with
Is it
with
society's
teaching.
rules? Is it self rules?
And I think for women in particular in society, we are praised from a very early age to be giving and to be kind and to fit in, and all those positive affirmations of that behaviour is hardwired into us.
Training us from birth.
Yeah, and again, those neural pathways are really hard set. Giving means that if I give and give and give, I'm going to fit in and I'm going to be safe, and it's, I'm going to be okay. But as we know, actually what happens when you give and give and give is that
you drain yourself.
You drain yourself and you burn out. You can't pour from an empty cup. And self-compassion helps you refill your cup. Being able to practice self-compassion, again, rewires your brain to enable you to refill your cup regularly.